can't give it to them. Just a heartful old lady.
Yeah.
And I just gave her a call, not hoping for anything. I just was in shock about this roof. And I told her, I'm living in the village you were born, and I see this house falling to bits and pieces. Do you allow me to go in and fix the roof for you? I don't want money for it. I just feel it's a pity that this falls apart. That was my honest reflex in that moment. And she started crying, and she said, "You're the first one that loves and honors this house for decades. I would like to give it to you. If you can afford, I would like to give it to you for 3,000 euros. Just to have a little amount to be able to make a contract that someone takes serious." It's with close to 4,000 square meters of building ground to it.
Wow.
Just the ground is worth 10 times.
Yeah.
And then we had a building for the guy that was too much in my place. And I told him, move in. Let's do like 1 month of shared work to get the worst repair things done. Doing the roof first. I donated the tiles, my resources. And we needed to take all the rubbish out of the garden. It was like 4 containers of rubbish. And then he did the water supply, because this was his profession, laying pipes. And the sewage system, that needed to be completely redone. I invested like 30,000 into the building. And I told the guy, go do the painting job, do the floors however you like it, make this home beautiful for yourself, and you can stay in it. And my kids will be happy, one day you will move on, I'm sure, but you can stay as long as you want. And he was so kind of captured in his scarcity that he could not work on the house with the feeling he's doing it not for himself. And whatever he tried, he could not discipline himself. And he at one point he was sleeping on the roof, with mosquitoes and cold air at night and hot air over the day. He moved into the attic with no insulation, just to torture himself, to force himself to start renovating the ground floor. And he didn't make it. And then he started to run around in the village saying what a bastard I am, making him sleep on the roof. Complete projection of his own disability. And then he moved out overnight and declared himself being my enemy.
Wow, yeah.
And then I gave the house to the other one. That was my guess, because he found a lady he liked and they wanted to move in together and have children. So I made a contract that is really a joke of a contract. Like, I invested 30,000, so I would like to have my investment back. The gift I got, I'm forwarding. And you can pay this over the next 10 years. So you end up with like 300 euros per month.
Yeah.
Which easy. Is half of the rent.
Yeah.
For
and then getting the house.
And after 10 years, it's his. I just said I don't have the capacities to take care of the building, so I feel better when it's yours. And I wanted him to take responsibility. If you give too much of a gift, people stop honoring it. So I did not want to deprive myself of things, to push too much in this. And he went like, if I would have the resources you have, I would give all of my friends 50,000 cash on their hand. Why don't you give me? I tested him. I said, oh, you've got so beautiful pepperonis in your garden. Because he had the most fertile ground in the village, in the backyard. And everything was growing like hell. And the question was, can someone have a pepperoni from him? No, those are mine. And at the end of the day, he basically called in the other guy that failed first on that building to beat me up as my enemy.
Duality consciousness.
And this is why I say sharing is an art. If you want to share in abundance, you need to make sure that the one who takes in gratitude. If he takes in greed, it doesn't work, because underneath the greed you humiliate his soul. And his soul will only record the humiliation. He will feel and act as if you hurt him deeply. And either it's coming in weird projections, like all the rent I took from him over the years, for the room he lived in. We had a deal at the beginning: you come, you help me on the farm, and you live for free. Food and accommodations just included in the service. Just help me a little bit with the buildings. And he kept smoking his weed in front of the oven all day and didn't move a single finger. So at some point I said, you don't honor the agreement. Then I think it's about time to say, I would like to have a little rent for the room you use and for the electricity and the food you eat. Just participate in financing this paradise as everyone else does as well. And it forced him to pick up a job.
The revolution of healthy living starts here. Feel the power of sea moss, shilajit, black seed oil, and many more organic bio-based superfoods. Discover nature's strength with over 10 collections and 100 products to start living naturally. Unlock your wellness today at mymineral.com.